kicked at me, and he immediately turned to the gentleman next to me and pushed him. And I observed an officer standing in front of it. He saw the whole thing happen.
So he actually said that he would arrest you guys, the victims of the assault.
That's exactly what he said. He said, keep it moving or you'll be arrested.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, I have a very special guest for you. I first wanted to thank everybody for the super chats in the last stream and the purchase on the Amazon wish list. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate and love you guys. We have a very special guest today. Somebody who was assaulted in Dearborn, and big surprise, the police did absolutely nothing about it. Everybody say hello to Jeremy. How's it going, Jeremy?
Pretty good, Cam. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened to you in Dearborn?
Well, I went down there just to kind of see what was going on. I've been a fan of yours for quite some time, other streamers like Nick Shirley, and, you guys were 10 minutes down the road from where I live. I wanted to get involved for the first time and kind of see what was going on and make my voice heard, and I showed up shortly after you were assaulted, where you were pepper sprayed, and I began marching down the street with you and others. Jake Lang, who I want to make clear I'm not affiliated with. I kind of don't agree with most of that guy's views. He had some things that he said that were all right, but I don't agree with him burning the Quran and doing some of the things he was doing, so I want to get that out there right now. But for the most part, we were trying to remain peaceful. We were definitely just walking along, kind of doing our thing. And at one point, somebody came up and grabbed the banner that Jake was carrying. And as he did that, he kind of walked back around me and two other fellas. And, we kind of told him, hey, man, not cool, not cool. And at that point, he started, running his mouth, saying, blah, 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 Allah Akbar, all those little, I guess, things to make us heated, And at that point, one of the other guys that was next to me turned around and said something to him, and then he kicked at me. I had my back to him at that point, and he kicked at me. Barely grazed my leg, but still, that's assault. You touch somebody unwanted, that's assault, And he immediately turned to the gentleman next to me and pushed him. And that was at the point that I turned around and said, hey, man, now you're assaulting people. Now you've crossed the line.
Were there any police around?
There was the police car in the middle of the road, and I observed an officer standing in front of it. He saw the whole thing happen, and he began to walk over. And as he began to walk over, he instructed us, the gentleman and myself that were assaulted, to keep moving on down the road or we would be arrested. And he began talking to the gentleman that just assaulted us in Arabic. And I found that quite disturbing in and of itself.
So he actually said that he would arrest you guys, the victims of the assault.
That's exactly what he said. He said, keep it moving or you'll be arrested.
Did he say a reason why you'd be arrested?
No, not at all.
Just you'll be arrested. Was this a white cop, a Muslim cop?
He was, I wouldn't know his religious preference by looking at him, but if I had to guess, yes, I would say he was of the Muslim persuasion for sure.
And he was speaking Arabic.
And, definitely. This was a masked gentleman. I'm being nice calling him gentleman. This was a masked fella.
Was this the guy that was running around in like the gray mask and screaming at everybody, or was it a different guy?
He had a black mask on, a black Detroit hat, sunglasses, and a red shirt.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, okay, I know who that is. Yeah. Okay, and there was at one point somebody was assaulted. I heard, I think it might have been you. This person assaulted, whatever. He's assaulting people, and then I saw the cop talking to somebody, presumably the person who did it, in Arabic, and then shook the person's hand. Was that the same guy, or was that a different guy?
That was the same officer and the same guy that assaulted us, yes. He literally shook his hand. I don't know what he said to him in Arabic, but then he shook his hand. And then another one of his friends, I guess, not the police officer, but the guy that assaulted us, came up and started pushing him back away from us. And, we just kept moving on down the road. And much like they told you, when you were assaulted, they told us to go make a police report, and it's like, yeah, okay, like you just saw it happen. Why can't you just arrest the guy right now,
Exactly.
Much like you explained, hey, I've got the guy on tape. I can point him out to you right now. And they didn't want to do anything about it. It was pretty obvious whose side they were on.
Yeah, because you'll never find that person again, to be clear. If they're masked up and they leave, they change, you'll never find that person again.
Absolutely not.
And so
absolutely not.
I want to make sure I have the timeline of events correct. So you guys, everybody's marching, you're not necessarily affiliated with either side. And when I say either side, I mean Anthony Hudson and Jake Lang. So you guys everybody's walking forward. At this point, the protest has kind of fizzled. A lot of people have left, but it's overwhelmed by the Antifa and Muslim counter-protesters. And this guy comes up and assaults you and one other person. The police officer watches it happen, gets out of his car, walks over, threatens to arrest you, the victim, and the other guy, then starts talking to the assailant in Arabic, shakes his hand, and does nothing about it. Did I got
Absolutely.
that right?
That's exactly what happened.
And how did that... Go ahead.
Shortly after that, there was another incident where a guy, this was on Nick Shirley's live stream. I don't know if you caught this at all, but a guy was in a truck, pulled up right in front of us, jumped out and began threatening all of us, Nick Shirley included, and literally said, if I had a gun right now, I would shoot you all.
I think he actually said he had his gun. He said he had his gun, but he didn't because the cops were there.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what he said, yes.
Yeah.
And the cops were there, meaning the cops were literally 5 feet from him when he said that.
Yeah.
He threatened to kill us outright, and the cops just looked at him like that was fine to them.
The police also watched Jake Lang get punched right in the face, and then the person ran across the street, and nothing was done about that either. I actually pointed at the cop and then pointed at the guy and yelled, he punched him in the face, and the cop just, of course, didn't do anything.
I always find it incredible when they say words are violence, but then actual violence is not violence. It's always it's incredible to me when that happens.
How did that make you feel when you get assaulted, you tell the police, and they actually seem to thank or show gratitude or camaraderie with the person who actually did it to you?
Well, it was much like you said, later on in the city council meeting. It makes you feel like a second-class citizen. Like, I'm not welcome there. As an American, I was there. I don't belong in their city. I mean, much like their mayor said. I mean, I have a quote from him. On September 9th, this is what the mayor said to a man that came to his city council meeting that was upset because they put up a sign on Warren Avenue renaming it Osama Simblani Ave, who is a Hezbollah and Hamas supporter. And the Christian minister was upset about this. And this is exactly what the mayor told him. You are a bigot, you are a racist, you are an Islamophobe. And though you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of this city will be the day I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you have moved out of this city. That was on September 9th.
Wow.
Now, that was the thing that initially lit my fire, and I said, I can't stand for this anymore. To be in a place where I live 10 minutes from there, and you're going to tell me as an American I'm not welcome in your city? A city where I've been going to since I was a small child? Yeah. That just didn't sit well with me.
Another thing that's interesting, too, is it's interesting you mentioned that quote because a lot of people are saying, oh, Jake Lang and Anthony Hudson, they just came to Dearborn unprovoked. There was nothing really going on in Dearborn. But that seems like something to me, telling somebody that they're not welcome in Dearborn as the mayor and that you're going to launch a parade when that person leaves. What was the purpose behind that? Like, why did he say he wasn't welcome? He's a pastor, right?
Because, he was a Christian minister, and he was just expressing his displeasure over them having, one, a call to prayer throughout the entire city, and two, the fact that they renamed that street, Warren Avenue, into Osama Simblani Ave. And he told him, if you don't like driving down Warren Ave, I suggest you do it with your eyes closed from now on, or don't drive on it at all.
Really?
That was his response to him. And that, like I said, that's the thing that really lit the fire under me. And I said, you know what, I got to go out here and let my voice be heard and let people know I'm not going to stand for this. And the local media around here has labeled it as out-of-towners coming to stir up hate. And, like I said before, I mean, some of the things that Jake Lang did absolutely were just for show as far as I'm concerned. But there was a lot of people there that are not out of towners, people like myself that have seen what's happening in that city for many years and have kept quiet, but you just can't do it anymore. This has come to a head. It's come to a boiling point, and I think people really need to know what's going on around here. And just today, literally a half hour ago, they held a press conference where the mayor came out, and again, the mayor of Dearborn said, "Oh, we welcome everybody in the city, and everybody's welcome to come here." And that's not the tune you were singing 2 months ago, pal.
Yeah. And what's interesting too is that's the day before Charlie Kirk got killed, September 9th. Charlie was killed on the 10th, which is very interesting.
And that's kind of what was another catalyst for that. I heard that, and then I saw that. I'm a follower of Charlie as well, and it's just people got to start speaking up. We can't be silent anymore. We gotta let people know what's going on. These people have an agenda. As much as they tell you they don't, and they love you and they're peaceful. I mean, they are not. They are not peaceful. They do not love you. They want to behead you. I mean, it literally says in their Quran, they want to take your head off.
Yeah, strike at their necks. That's what it says repeatedly in the Quran. I actually have a copy of it.
Muhammad 47:4.
Yeah, exactly. Right here, like, arm yourselves with knowledge, guys.
Exactly, and that's why I don't advocate the burning of books like that. Is because even a book like that you can learn from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can burn from, or you can burn from it. You can learn from it. Absolutely, and you should arm yourselves with knowledge. So what was I imagine that you've been through, if you live 10 minutes away, you've probably been through Dearborn quite a bit. Maybe you're just driving somewhere. I mean, what is like the general feeling when you're driving through Dearborn or when you're in Dearborn? Because when I was there, it wasn't even the day of the protest. I went the day prior, and I got chased by a drone, tailed by vehicles, followed by people on foot. It was like terrifying. It's like they all knew. It was like 13 hours before Benghazi. They all were in on it, but I had, the only people who weren't in on it was me and Preacher as we're being tailed by these drones. People coming up to us, watching our live stream, and it's horrifying.
It is. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just took my young daughter there 2 weeks ago. We went to patronize an establishment there, and I told her, I said, as soon as we cross this city line, it's going to be like going into a different country. I said, every sign is going to be in Arabic. You're not going to be able to read it. Every person that we come across is, some of them are nice, yes, but you always got that feeling, like you said, like a demi, like a second-class citizen. They're looking at you like you don't belong. Like, why are you here? Yeah. What are you doing here? It's like, it's a very uneasy feeling.
Yeah, that's certainly how I felt when I was in Dearborn. And to be fair, the road signs are in English still, but the storefronts are a lot of them are in Arabic. And you just feel uneasy. Like, I felt like an alien when I was there, just because of the way they treated me. Not because the signs are in Arabic or, there's people walking around in burqa. That does feel a little weird.
Right.
But it's the way they treat you too. It's the following and the drones and the constant confrontation. And I didn't confront anybody when I was in Dearborn the day before. I just walked up Michigan Avenue. I talked to my chat. That was pretty much it. Then we went to a mosque to hear the call to prayer at 6:30, and that's when we started getting chased and followed and surveilled by drones and all this other stuff. And it's just horrifying. So can you tell me, was there anything else that you saw during the march or the protest that struck you?
There was a lot of things that happened. Especially as like the way the media covers things. There was a gentleman there when Jake started, trying to burn the Quran and stuff. There was a guy that I wouldn't say, I don't know what side he was on. He had a Trump hat on or whatever. And, he was trying to preach unity. He was like, guys, don't do this. This is not what we're here for. Like, let's dial it back a little bit, but you won't see that on the mainstream media coverage. You know what I'm saying? They just want to paint us out to be these vile people that came down there just to stir something up, kick a hornet's nest or something. But
yeah,
for the most part, I didn't see anybody on our side acting violent like the way they did. Like, nobody was running up just punching people, from the
I didn't see a single punch thrown from the protest side. I mean, I saw a lot of punches thrown from the counter protesters, Antifa and the Muslims. Actually, mostly the Muslims.
Right.
But I didn't. I mean, even when Jake got punched right in his face, he didn't retaliate in any way.
No,
I mean, he just took
no.
it. He took it like a champ. And when I got pepper sprayed, I didn't retaliate. I had a OC spray in my pocket. I could have just sprayed in a circle and gotten all of them, right? But
Exactly.
I didn't do that. I took it like a champ. I've been pepper sprayed before. I knew what to do. My first order of business was looking for my phone and getting my live back up, because that's what I'm there to do, is document. But I saw just repeated attacks and violence with impunity, and the cops watching it and doing nothing. Now, tell me, at City Hall, before we went in, there was a gentleman on the protest side, the Jake Lang or Anthony Hudson side, that got arrested. Did you see what happened with that? I caught the tail end of it.
Did not see what happened with that, but that was another gentleman that was alongside of me when I was assaulted.
Oh, that's the one. That's the guy.
No, it was his friend. It was me, the guy that got pushed, and then his friend was with him. And then I do not know exactly what transpired that caused him to be placed under arrest. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anything that looked. I didn't see any skirmish going on or anything like that.
Me either.
I mean, at that point, they had pretty much surrounded everybody, the Muslim side, and had started screaming Allah Akbar and death to America, and nobody on our side was screaming, hey, we want you guys to die. And I mean, that's pretty much the main difference between the clash of religions. There is, like, our message is spread through love and their message is spread through violence. And
yeah, 100%. And I saw that guy getting arrested. I heard that somebody might have yanked his beard and then something might have transpired after that. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone talk about if he threw a punch or anything. I didn't see it. I didn't see anyone on the protest side retaliate against anybody. But
pretty diligent about, like, watching everything that I can. I've been consuming it over the last 2 days, and I didn't see anything on any of the videos I watched where it showed him being violent or any reason for him to be placed under arrest.
He seemed very chill. That guy particularly seemed very chill all day. And
was.
And what I just find it astounding that regardless of what he did, whatever he did, it couldn't have been that bad, right? Like maybe a punch thrown or maybe a shove, whatever it is. They watched all day, stuff probably worse than what this guy did. The police, they watched stuff worse than whatever this guy could have done all day.
Well, I mean,
and didn't arrest anyone.
They watched you get pepper sprayed and literally robbed. I mean, you were robbed.
Yeah.
And they destroyed your property. I mean, and they just, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, they stole $50 out of my pocket. Somebody, it just I cannot fathom watching that all day and then arresting somebody on the protest side after you refuse to act all day. Did you see anyone from the counter protest side, the Muslims or Antifa? Did you see any of those people get arrested?
I saw none of them get arrested.
Me either.
As a matter of fact, I saw later on one of J.D. DeLay's podcasts that people that watched his podcast had made complaints to the Dearborn Police Department, and they also made complaints to the state police. And I don't know how true this is or not, but the state police were told not to go in there unless they were called by Dearborn Police.
I heard the same thing. I think JD told me. Yeah, I think it was JD
that told me that. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I did hear. So
yeah,
and I mean, that's just that in and of itself speaks volumes. So it's
ridiculous.
It's disheartening to see that.
And I'll tell you another thing too is, like, when we were behind the barricades, when the police finally came in and made barricades, which I thought was really weird that, like, all day it had been all, like, Arab cops, and then all of a sudden it was all white cops. I thought that was kind of weird, but they formed these barricades. Yeah, super weird. They formed these barricades, and there was a cop talking to Jake Lang, and he literally got hit in the face with a rock as the cop was talking to him, and the cop didn't stop and go find out who threw the rock. He said, "Jake, you're not listening to me." Right. And he's like, "I just got hit in the face with a rock." And the cop goes, "Listen to me. You have to listen to me."
Right.
And it's just
it's completely ridiculous. It's like, I have to listen to you while I'm being assaulted. Like,
yeah.
Why don't you listen to me and go do your job? Like you said, do your job. Like, you were being very nice by saying it was lazy police work. I think it was just outright defiance.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And tell me, Were you in the main room for the city council, or were you in overflow?
I left before the city council meeting,
Ah, okay.
before everybody went in, because I work nights and I had to
I
go to
see.
work. So
Yeah, I see.
yeah, so I left at that point. But yeah, I did not go into the city council meeting, but I watched it all on your live stream while I was at work.
What did you think of the whole thing, based on what had transpired just less than an hour
I mean,
prior?
I thought they kind of filibustered, to try and do as much as they could to not let you guys speak. I mean, they were letting everybody else speak, but
From the overflow.
exactly. And like, it was pretty crazy. And then when you guys finally did speak, I mean, like I said, again, I don't agree with some of the things that Jake was saying, but I think you hit the nail on the head.
Thanks.
Everything you said was pretty spot on. I mean, I was 100% supportive of it. And, yeah, I mean, to have Jake speak and then have to be escorted out by the police, and I mean, they were waiting outside by the bus, and the police were like, "Get out of here! You got to go. It's time for you to go." And it's like,
Yeah.
well, why? Why do I have to leave? Like,
Yeah.
Why don't the people that are being violent have to leave? I'm the one that's just sitting here. Like.
Yeah, and it makes sense to kick him out of. I mean, there was a pretty big outburst. It makes sense to kick him out of the city council meeting, but to kick him off this sidewalk in the parking lot, it's just
Right.
You can't actually legally can't do that.
And it was like, I don't see that. I mean, they didn't want to address the actual problem, and they were trying their hardest to make it look like the people that were voicing their opinions were the problem, not the people that were using actual violence.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, the people that were in that room, in that city council room, were actively threatening to kill Jake and myself pretty much the entire meeting. I mean, Jake took his plate carrier off, and the bald Muslim guy behind him said, "Hey, you might want to keep that on if you know it's good for you." And then I was walking to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom a couple times. I chugged a couple bottles of water while I was in there. I was so mad. I was like drinking a ton of water. I started walking around the back so it didn't block all the cameras in front of the podiums. And as I would walk, that whole back row was all Muslim protesters. And as I would walk by, they'd say, "We're going to Charlie Kirk you, boy. We're going to Charlie Kirk you. You're going to end up like Charlie Kirk," all this stuff. And it's like, we are in a city council meeting right now, and you are threatening to kill me in the city council meeting. I tell the cops they don't do anything, of course. Not.
Right. Well, like I said, that cop was right there when that guy pulled up in the truck and literally said he was going to shoot us all.
Yeah.
I mean, just for standing on the street.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah.
Nobody was chanting anything. Nobody was saying anything. He pulled up out of nowhere, literally almost ran two people over when he pulled up, jumped out of his car and just started screaming that he was going to shoot us all. Like,
yeah.
It was absolutely insane.
Tell me this. How is your position on, of course you like went into this probably with some kind of position or thoughts or whatever, and how has your thoughts on Islam and Dearborn and the way the city is run changed after this whole incident?
Well, I went down there because I know I'm well read. I know what they're about. I know what that book teaches. I know what it advocates, and I know that they're supposed to come into this country and pretend to be our friends, and that's their whole shtick, man. And I wanted to go down there and just kind of, I guess, I don't know. I wanted to speak up. I wanted to see for myself. Tired of seeing stuff on TV and not knowing what actually happened, because it gets spun so many different ways. And like being down there and seeing what actually happened and knowing, hey, this was wrong. Like what went on down there was wrong. That city is run by Muslims. People there are not welcome. I mean, like I said, on September 9th, he literally said it. And they want to play make believe like they're your friend and they want you there, and they truly don't. They do not want you in that city. I think that's, like I said to Nick, that's the epicenter of where this is all occurring. I think it's just going to keep spreading outward, and that's their agenda. They want to take over this country from the inside out, and they've declared, the Muslim Brotherhood, who was declared a terrorist organization recently, have, said that working within the government and voting now is their new jihad. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're no longer killing us in the streets. They're gonna do it from the inside out now, and people need to wake up and understand what's happening. And this is not a joke. It's not just for clickbait. It's not to. This is truly happening in America.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be clear, like, I don't hate Muslims. What I hate or strongly dislike is the institutionalization of rules and laws based in Islam that exclude me in my own country or do harm to me in my own country. Or the
Absolutely.
actions that physically harm me in my own country. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if you want to come here, I mean, that's what America was based on. It's what it's founded on. If you want to come here and practice your religion, but I shouldn't have to conform to your religious ideas. I shouldn't have to bow down to you because you feel that you're superior to me in some way. I shouldn't have to avoid going to an entire city just because you don't want me there and you feel I don't belong. Like I said to Nick, I mean, immigrants earlier on came here, they assimilated, they wanted to be part of America, they wanted to live the American dream. Um, Most of these people come here now and they want to bring their third world shithole with them for, lack of
Yeah.
a better. And I don't understand that. Like, if you want that, then go back to where you came from. Like,
Yeah.
you're free to, like, practice your religion, but don't put it on me. Don't make me feel like I should be inferior or I am inferior to you. And I just think it's a real problem. And if you really know what they are about and what they're doing, then you know how much of a problem it really is.
It's dangerous. I mean, they want to come here and they want to make here exactly like Saudi Arabia or Iran. It's like a Californian moving to Texas, right? It's,
Correct.
now that's
It's
a
a,
much smaller issue because it's not quite as bad as radical Islam, but
it's the same thing though. Yeah, it's moving somewhere and expecting somebody else to conform to everything that you want, and turning their world upside down. And now you're upset because I don't want to be like you. Well, this is America. I don't have to be like you.
yeah.
And it's very disheartening, and it was very upsetting to see it actually happen and occur. And it was to see the cops act the way they did, and to see the people be as violent as they were.
Was
I
it?
had to exercise some restraint. I'm normally, the kind of guy like FAFO,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm the guy that lets you find out most of the time. So
I'll tell you what.
I exercised restraint because I didn't want to have that label put on us,
Yeah.
and I understood like what was going to happen if somebody from our side. All it took. Like I said, we couldn't even figure out why the guy that was arrested. They just picked him out and probably did it because if there was a reason, it would have been all over the TV. Like, look at what he did. Look at
Yeah.
what he did. So,
Yeah.
it was hard to exercise some restraint. I'll tell you that. But
It was definitely the smart play. You guys walked out of it looking like roses.
right,
Nobody threw a punch, and you guys just got attacked all day. And there's a clear innocent and a clearly guilty side, and it's not you guys.
well, I appreciate that. And yeah, there was some out of town people there, but for the most part, it was people that are from this area that are just
Yeah. And
wise to what's happening there.
and another thing is, who cares anyway, right? Like, I've seen a lot of this stuff, and as we've both said now, it's I don't agree with everything Jake Lang says. I don't agree with necessarily the way he goes about things, but I've heard a lot of this. Jake Lang is an outsider who just came in to stir stuff up rhetoric. Okay, let's assume that's true. Who cares, right? Just because he
Right.
comes in and is a little mean, that doesn't mean you have the right to attack him, punch him in the face, pepper spray him, and they pepper sprayed him too, right? You don't have a right to pepper spray him, punch him in the face, try to steal his stuff, push him around. You don't have to threaten to kill him. Just because he's offended you or offended your religion doesn't mean you have the right to do that. You know how many times a day people come up to me and tell me I'm a fake Christian or that Christianity is bad? I'm not going to threaten to kill that person or punch them in the face or spray them with pepper spray. It's the difference between my religion and their religion, right? Or how I
Right.
conduct myself and how they conduct themselves. It's like animalistic.
Correct. It's very animalistic, and it's very insightful. It's just like you said. They called him an out of towner. I felt like they were calling me an out of towner just because I don't live in Dearborn. I'm a few minutes down the road, but
Might as well, yeah.
yeah, I feel like an out of towner there. It's
Yeah.
as soon as I get into that place, it's just like, hey, you can feel it. Like it's palpable. You can feel like, hey, you don't belong here. Like,
Yeah.
why are you here?
Yeah. And I want to be very clear too when I say that the behavior is animalistic. I'm not dehumanizing them or saying that they are animals. I'm not likening them to animals or saying you should treat them like animals. What I'm simply saying is just they have low impulse control similar to animals. It's not that they're subhuman or less than or anything like that. It's just that the way they conduct themselves is not how a normal functioning member of society handles themselves. I should maybe liken them more to a child, right?
Correct.
It's just low impulse control and a failure to be able to govern their own actions, it seems.
Well, it's like they say, if you want to see who somebody really is, just observe them for a few minutes and see how they act, and they'll tell you who they are.
100%. 100%. Well, is there anything else you wanna say before we close out?
No, I mean, I'm just thankful for you giving me this platform to set things straight and let people know how I felt. And
Amazing.
I've recently just started a YouTube channel of my own, and I'm going to try and do some stuff on that.
Where can they find you?
I'm at the Ginger Crusader.
Awesome.
And I'm going to be making my first post soon. It'll probably be some of this interview and some of the stuff that happened down there. And
perfect. It'll look a lot better on YouTube. I know I kind of look weird here on Zoom right now, but it'll look better when it's on YouTube. I've got my good camera looking at me, so.
Right.
All right. Well, Jeremy Lane, everybody, I appreciate you joining us. The chat loved you, and go follow Jeremy's YouTube channel, guys. Give him a subscribe and keep an eye on what he's going to be doing, because I think Dearborn lit a fire under him, and I think he's going to be
Absolutely.
trying to make a difference here. So.
I will definitely be making some posts and keeping everybody informed. So the Ginger Crusader at YouTube. So go check it out. Appreciate it, Cam.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. What did you guys think of the interview with Jeremy there? I am just astounded by the fact that he was attacked. Two people were attacked. Him and one other person were violently attacked by counter-protesters, and a cop watched it, and instead of doing something about it, that cop actually got out of his car, crossed the street, threatened to arrest Jeremy, and then spoke Arabic to the assailant and shook his hand. And I watched that happen. I saw it. And I asked the cop, I said, this person just assaulted somebody. Why aren't you arresting him? He said, no, he didn't. Like, well, it's on camera. I don't know what to tell you. It's literally on camera. I want to pull up some stuff that Nick Shirley has been posting for you guys. Because he actually got an interview with somebody who was threatening to kill all the people at the protests. What did you guys think of Jeremy, everybody? Good interview. Thank you so much. Okay. I got to find this clip from Nick. All right, we'll play this real quick. Nick kind of edited it up weird here, but everybody also make sure to subscribe to Nick Shirley on YouTube if you're not already.
People out here are just driving around, and they're hearing what's happening as they attempted to burn the Quran, and people are freaking out. People are just pulling over. Why would I get here? Why? I haven't done anything. They got word out that they tried to burn the Quran.
Notice how there's cops right there.
And you're getting heated. You're just pulling over. You're hopping out of the car. You're ready to brawl with anybody.
I had my gun. I was gonna blast if I didn't see the cops. I swear to God. That's it. Hey, I don't care. To me, I don't care in my life. I don't give a let somebody blast me. I don't give a
just because of the burning of the Quran, the attempted
I'll
burning.
that motherfucker's life up and his family.
So, by the way, religion of peace. Because somebody was going to burn the Quran, their own personal Quran, their own personal property, this guy was going to get out of his car with a gun and start, quote-unquote, blasting people. He says that he was going to kill them and their families because they were going to burn their own personal property. By the way, cops, right there. They're right there. They do nothing about it. This person is making an active threat on people's lives with a gun in his vehicle. And the cops do nothing about it. Nobody cares. The mayor says everybody's welcome in Dearborn. Evidently, that's not true. And in fact, it's not true per the mayor himself. Let's pull up that clip that Jeremy was talking about where the mayor said that this pastor wasn't welcome. I've heard a lot about this clip. I haven't seen it.
Bombed the embassy.
Okay. Actually, let's see if we can find a longer one. I guess this is longer.
The embassy.
All right, let's watch. Actually, we can do it this way.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
There's no coexistence. The mayor renamed the street after a Hezbollah terrorist. An American citizen, a resident of Dearborn, feels uncomfortable that a street in Dearborn that was called Warren, I believe, was renamed to the name of a Hezbollah terrorist after attacks on American citizens in plots to kill American diplomatic missions in Europe. This guy's just expressing a genuine concern that this street has been renamed. And the mayor says, you're not welcome in this city. And the day you move out of the city is the day I will throw a parade. You're the mayor. He says that he's not willing to coexist. The mayor says the reason he hates him so much is because he won't coexist. But you just said that this guy's not welcome in your city. You're the one who doesn't want to coexist. Not him. He just doesn't want a street named after a terrorist. If he didn't want to coexist, he'd be complaining about the Arabic on all the buildings. He's just saying he doesn't want a street named after a terrorist. You're saying you're not welcome in my city, Christian pastor. You're not welcome here. The day you leave is the day I throw a parade. You're the one who doesn't want to coexist, not him. Let's look at what chat's doing. What up, chat? Named after an American Revolutionary War hero, Joseph Warren. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Send help to Dearborn. Absolutely. Dearborn needs it. Yeah, there is no coexisting with a mayor who allows his police force to unfairly enforce the law, watch residents and non-residents be attacked in the streets of your city, and do nothing about it. Honestly, you should be more concerned about non-residents being attacked. What happened to perception of guests, right? When somebody comes to my house, if somebody inside my house who lives there is rude to my guest, I'm going to have a much bigger problem with it than if they were rude to another person who lives in my house, right? If my daughter is rude to her brother, it's an issue to be sure, and I'm going to deal with that issue. But if I have a guest over, somebody who doesn't live in my house, a good friend, and my daughter is rude to that guest, now that's a bigger issue because this person I've invited this person here and they're being treated poorly. They're in my home. They should be treated fairly. And you think these Muslims shouldn't be deported? I don't think there's a pathway to deport them. They're American citizens. Unfortunately, they have the same protections as us. As much as I'd like the Mayor Hamoud of Dearborn to be deported, there's no legal recourse to deport him. He's an American citizen.